Hello and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Osman. In today's episode, the Daytona International Speedway cuts the ribbon on its new motorsports stadium. Local youth get an insight on county government. And the green flag is about to drop on the Daytona Beach Half Marathon. And in Solutions for Your Life, we learn about new FDA Dietary Guidelines. Finally, joining Dave Byron in the studio is Lucinda Colee with the Volusia County Library Services. Those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. I hope you stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Daytona International Speedway officials, along with Volusia County dignitaries and dozens of guests, celebrated the official opening of the new motorsports stadium during a ribbon-cutting event January 27th. The ceremony came just days before the newly renovated motorsports stadium welcomed fans for the Rolex 24 at Daytona. To celebrate its completion, the Speedway teamed up with EarthCam to create a 2.5-minute time-lapse video showing the entire construction, which took about 28 months to do. The stadium has wider concourse areas as well as 5 expanded and redesigned entrances known as injectors that will lead fans to escalators and elevators to the concourses and the 11 social neighborhoods along the nearly mile-long front stretch.
Yes, racing is in our DNA, but at the end of the day, you see us at concerts. Who knows when stick and ball sports might show up, whether it's football or soccer. This property now, we can compete with other venues for new content, no matter what it is. And we've got a physical plant now that I think is second to none in the state of Florida. And before, with a 50-year-old property, I'm not sure we could compete with other new venues for concerts and activity like that. So I think we're well positioned for the future.
The construction project, called Daytona Rising, is the largest infrastructure investment in International Speedway Corporation's history. Volusia County Manager Jim Deneen said the project is substantial for the community and will greatly enhance the area's tourism economy.
For the people that originally built that facility, they never thought, I can tell you this, about thousands of people running around the track. But see, they want it to be all these different elements. And to do that, you have to build the facility of the future. So what they did was they actually ended a book and started a whole new book. It's not even a chapter. And this is the new book about the stadium and what it can and what it will be.
Speedway officials said there are 2 times as many restrooms and 3 times as many concession stands compared to the old venue. The project created an estimated 6,300 jobs, $300 million in labor income, and over $85 million in tax revenue, according to Daytona International Speedway. 40 of Volusia County's brightest high school students recently learned about county government as they toured the historic courthouse in downtown DeLand and observed a Volusia County Council meeting. They were part of the Tomorrow's Leaders program sponsored by the Futures Foundation. The group includes high school juniors from all 11 public high schools in Volusia County. They were selected because they are responsible, self-reliant members of their school and community. Supervisor of Elections Ann McFall took the students through the elections department and showed them the county's new voting machines, which will be used for the first time during the presidential primary on March 15th. Porfirio Oriana, a junior from Pine Ridge High School, shared his thoughts about the program.
Tomorrow's Leaders is actually a really cool program. It exposes me to a whole bunch of new environments and different career paths that I could follow, and how I can use the education that I've used and the leadership skills that I have to affect my community in a positive way.
The students also listened to Volusia County Council members discuss the issue of homelessness and were challenged to consider the issue from all sides. County Council Vice Chair Pat Patterson elaborated on the topic and presented a proclamation to the group. Candace Langford, a former school board chair, accepted the proclamation on behalf of the group. Since the 6-month program began in October, the students have attended seminars focusing on leadership, diversity and inclusion, economic development, manufacturing, the arts, government, and education. For more information about tomorrow's leaders, visit futuresvolusia.org and click on Programs. The green flag is about to be dropped to start the Daytona Beach Half Marathon, which will take place February 7th at the Daytona International Motorsports Stadium. Volusia County government and Daytona International Speedway have partnered to return the popular running event to Daytona Beach that features a half marathon relay, and a lap the track 5K. Signature sponsors are Florida Hospital and Brown Insurance. Runners will experience the excitement as they run inside the newly renovated Daytona International Speedway. In addition to the nearly 2,500 expected participants, about 100 children ages 8 to 13 will run the 3.1-mile lap the track. Children who are members of area YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs had the opportunity to sign up for a free 8-week training course geared toward completion of the 5K. Each child in the training program received a free entry to the Lap the Track and will get a t-shirt and finisher medal upon completion of the race. County Manager Jim Deneen believes the Daytona Beach Half Marathon events will have a lasting and positive impact on tourism in the area and will attract a number of families.
We needed to make it even more family-oriented because that's the nature of what's going on with running. It all changed when the majority of people who run today's races are now women. And that brought a new family focus to it. So because of that, we've taken the half marathon distance and we've added to it a regular 5K, which is the lap the track, so you stay inside the track. And then the other thing is that a half marathon people, it's 13.1 miles. That's still long for even a lot of people that run. But a real common distance is a 10K, which is 6.2. So what we decided to do was to take the half marathon and allow you to have a relay on it. So one person would run a 6.2 5K, and the other person runs like a 6.9. We'll show them where that 10K is at, so they'll basically both are running a 10K. Okay? That means that everybody can run now. You can have somebody that wants to do the half marathon, people that really are more into 10Ks. You got the people that want to do the 5Ks that want to run them, but also the 5K, because you can have people that can walk the 5K. So for people that are walkers, joggers, runners, of all ages, of all sizes, of all distance, we're the half marathon, the race for you.
The Daytona Beach Half Marathon features a breathtaking course that takes runners from the historic asphalt of Daytona International Speedway to International Speedway Boulevard, leading to a panoramic view of the Atlantic Ocean atop the International Speedway Boulevard high-rise bridge to the sparkling white hard-packed sands of Daytona Beach, and then back to the famous checkered flag of the World Center of Racing. Runners will be among the first to see the newly renovated Motorsports Stadium. For more information on the Daytona Beach Half Marathon or to register, you can visit DaytonaBeachHalf.com.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Today on Solutions for Your Life, Jill Toffer, registered dietitian and University of Florida Extension agent in Volusia County, explains some of the new dietary guidelines released this month by the Food and Drug Administration.
Welcome to Solutions for Your Life. I'm Jill Toffer, registered dietitian and University of Florida Extension agent here in Volusia County. Today we're out at the Wednesday Farmers Market right here on the fairgrounds in DeLand. And we're talking about the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, which were just updated a couple weeks ago. The emphasis is on vegetables and fruits, just like it has been. Remember, half your plate should be fruits and vegetables. But in addition to that, they've emphasized different colorful vegetables that we should increase in our diet. Things like dark green vegetables that we should try to have every day, and dark orange and deep red, which you should sprinkle throughout the week. So we're looking at a color code, and we're looking for a variety of colors to eat every day in our recipes. Now that we've been out at the market looking at foods that we need to increase in our diet, we're going to head back to the kitchen because there's one nutrient that we need to really put the brakes on. So we're back in the kitchen now, and here's the component in our diet that we really need to decrease. No surprise, it's sugar. For the first time, the USDA Dietary Guidelines has actually put a specific amount of sugar that we should limit our diet to each day, and that is less than 10% of total calories. So if you're eating a 2,000 calorie diet a day, that means less than 200 calories should be coming from sugar. That means 50 grams. That comes down to 12.5 teaspoons a day, which looks like this. Now, if you're a soda drinker, a 20-ounce soda contains 17 teaspoons of sugar, well over that 12.5 teaspoon limit. So most of our calories from added sugar do come from drinks, because we've got the soda, the energy drink, the sports drinks, the sweetened teas and coffees, the fruit punch, the fruit drinks. When you're talking about 100% fruit juice, that's in the fruit group. Also, there's natural sugar found in milk. You'll see that under sugars on the label of milk. If it's milk without being sweetened, like chocolate milk, that's natural sugar also. So we do have natural sugar in two drinks, the fruit juice and the milk. But let's concentrate on cutting down on the added sugars found in all these products. We have a whole aisle in the grocery store dedicated to just sugar sweetened beverages. So read the labels, look at the ingredient list for that added sugar, try to cut back. Of course, the best thing to use is water. So hopefully this new guidance of limiting your sugar to 12.5 teaspoons of sugar a day will help you increase the nutritional value of your diet in 2016. With Solutions for Your Life, this is Jill Toffer.
Established by Congress in 1914, University of Florida IFAS Extension has been providing solutions for 100 years. We bring research-based information to individuals, businesses, and communities. As part of the land-grant university system, we have experts in every one of Florida's 67 counties. Our educational programs improve lives, build economies, and help protect the state's valuable natural resources. We're committed to providing reliable information that impacts the lives of every Floridian. As Florida continues to grow, UF IFAS Extension will be there to provide practical solutions to Florida's most challenging problems. University of Florida IFAS Extension, solutions for the next 100 years.
It's time to go into the studio and join our Director of Community Information, Dave Byron, and his guest, Lucinda Colee, Library Services Director for Volusia County.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hi, everyone. Volusia County's public libraries during February will host a series of discussions, lectures, and presentations related to the American classic book To Kill a Mockingbird, which was written by Harper Lee. The novel, which was turned into a movie starring Gregory Peck, is also now a classic. It examines race relations in the Deep South in the mid-last century. The library system focus on this thought-provoking novel comes as a result of Volusia County receiving a national grant. Our library director, Lucinda Colee, has the details, and she's with us in the studio today. Lucinda, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks.
Hey, I'm really proud of this. You know, you got a grant to kick this whole thing off. Talk about the grant itself and how we got into this.
Well, it's a National Endowment of the Arts grant. They gave about $1 million worth of grant funds, and they awarded I believe it was 75 grants, and we received one of them. And we're one of very few public libraries that received a grant this past cycle. And we selected a book. You select one book,
right,
and all your programming is focused around one classic title.
Right. What's interesting, I thought, is that the grant itself really was only $15,000, of which the library system matched it with $15,000. So even in terms of grant significance, a small amount of money. But this grant is very prestigious. It's a competitive process.
It is. It's a competitive grant process, and we had a committee that worked on it, and we have a community steering
right,
committee, and you have to look for community partners.
Right.
And so, you know, we didn't know, you know, how we would fare, and we were very excited
right,
to be selected.
So you selected the book To Kill a Mockingbird, which of course is an American classic. I think you told me before we started taping, still sells what, 1 million copies a year?
1 million copies a year, and it's translated in 40 languages.
Unbelievable, written in 1960.
1960.
So tell us, for those folks that haven't read the book, I read it a long time ago, tell us just generally what the book is about.
Well, it takes place in 1930s in the Deep South in a fictional town in Alabama.
Uh-huh.
And one of the main characters is a young girl named Scout. And her father is a local attorney. And the family is more well off than
right,
the rest in the community. And it's during the Depression. And her father defends a black man who's accused of raping a white woman.
Right.
And it really is about how dealing with going through that trial. It takes place over a time period of about 3 years, and dealing with the race relations and the issues that evolved during that process.
It's interesting, you know, here we are, the book written in 1960, and here we are today in 2016, you know. It seems to me that some of the issues, topics, you know, some of the thoughts that are expressed in the book are as relevant today as they were in 1960, it seems to me.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that, yes.
So how did you know, obviously the book was very controversial at the time, maybe still a little controversial today.
I think so.
How did the library system go about the decision to select this book?
Well, it was we have a library staff committee that selected the book. And what we were looking for was a book that would have a wide-reaching audience.
Right.
I think a lot of high school students, middle school to high school, read this book as part of their curriculum. And then I think a lot of us as adults perhaps pick it up later in life and reread it.
Right.
So, you know, we were looking for a book that would have just a wide appeal to a lot of
right,
people.
Well, Lucinda, so you're just now beginning a wide number of programs, which we'll talk about. So you don't know, you haven't gotten to the end of the programs
Right.
yet. But I'm just wondering, as you thought about this book, you thought about this grant, what do you hope to accomplish through this grant? I mean, if you look back on this and say, what did we get out of this?
Well, I think what we hope to get out of it is really a community conversation
Right.
around a classic American title, and bringing people together and having conversations about a book.
Yeah, and I was thinking, Lucinda, I guess it's probably in somewhat a sad statement, but we're still dealing with race relations in the United States. You can't get away from that fact. And I guess what I'm hearing you say is to continue the conversation, no matter what direction it takes you in, I guess has to be a good thing.
I think it is. And
it also seems to me that it sort of makes a statement about the county library system's role in the community.
Yes, I think that you know, the library appeals to all of our community members, all walks of life,
Right.
And you know, everyone's welcome at the public library.
Lucinda, so let's talk now about the programs. You know, I know you can't remember every one of them and all of that because you got a whole slew of programs.
We got more than 60 programs.
More than 60 programs, but their presentations, their lectures. You know, let's just talk about the wide variety of programs that are being offered.
Well, the majority of the programs, there are a lot of book discussion groups, and
Right.
they're all over the county. They're in libraries. They're in there's some in bars and club, you know, so they're throughout the community centers. So there are a lot of book discussion groups. We have Mary Badham, who's coming, who played Scout in the movie.
Yeah, how cool is that?
And that's very cool. That's very cool. And she's going to be at Stetson University. That's one of our partners.
Right.
And she's going to talk about the movie and the impact of the movie. And we're very excited.
You know, I think you told me, Lucinda, she was just sort of picked out almost off the street for this.
Yes, she was not a child actress.
Right.
And so we're very excited to have her come and be a part of our Big Read celebration.
Wow. And what is she going to talk about?
She's going to talk about the movie and,
Right.
and the impact of the movie. And of course, the movie won, I believe, 3 Academy Awards.
Wow. And then there's a presentation by author Maya Mills.
Yes.
And she, throughout her career, has had a very close association with the book's author and family, I think.
She, when the Chicago Public Library was going to present To Kill a Mockingbird as a community reading program,
Right.
A one-book program in their community, she went down to Alabama to interview Harper Lee,
Right.
and she decided she wanted to do more than that, and she actually moved down to Alabama for a period of time.
Wow.
And really got to know Harper Lee and her sister, and she wrote the book The Mockingbird Next Door.
Wow.
And so it's about the relationship between the two sisters and growing up in the Deep South.
Wow.
And so she's going to be here, and her presentation will be at Embry-Riddle
Wow.
Aeronautical University, one of our other partners.
And Lucinda, the author herself, Harper Lee, still alive.
Yes.
Somewhat of a recluse, though,
Yeah.
that doesn't give a lot of interviews and that sort of thing, but just recently released a book like
She
50
did.
years later. Is that correct?
She did, yeah. And we heard that book was coming out after we had selected To Kill a Mockingbird, after we had turned in our grant application.
Right. Now, I haven't read the new book, but my understanding is it sort of casts a different light on Atticus.
Yes,
He's not maybe quite the you know, the upstanding person that he was portrayed to be.
That's, yes, my understanding.
Unbelievable. Hey, so you know, we can't not talk about Karen Paulson.
No, we can't.
Because
no.
Karen Paulson is one of your employees, and she's written a play.
She has. It's entitled Hey Atticus, and it basically takes place in Harper Lee's New York apartment during the time that she's writing To Kill a Mockingbird.
Wow.
And it's going to be staged throughout Volusia County. This is the second original play that Karen has written for us, because she wrote a play for us during the Viva Florida 500 celebration as well.
Wow, and she's going to direct it, I think.
She's going to direct it.
And you've got some of your own employees that are making their acting debut, I guess.
Yes. And then we have local theater actors also involved.
All right, so you've got all of these programs. So who are the programs for? Are they for anyone?
Anyone, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we encourage all of our citizens to come out and enjoy the programs. They can stop by any of our public libraries and pick up a brochure on all the different programs. They can visit the website, either volusia.org or volusialibrary.org, and the program information is available.
And you're going to have something in virtually every library, and you said at other locations, non-library locations as well.
Yes, I should mention the historic courthouse. We have this scripted play. The play is going to be presented here in DeLand in the historic courthouse
Wow.
as well.
Wow. Well, it seems to me that you sure have maxed out the value of this grant. You know, I was just absolutely astounded at the number of programs and the diversity of the programs and so forth. And I think at the end of the day, as we talked about earlier, to continue the conversation about relationships in our country today, it's got to be a good thing.
I absolutely agree.
Okay, well, we'll have you back when this thing is all done just to see how things came out. But it's called the Big Read Grant, and it's all about the book, To Kill a Mockingbird. Again, just for folks that didn't catch it, how do they get more information?
They can visit volusia.org or volusialibrary.org, or they can stop by any of the public libraries and pick up one of our brochures.
Now, don't you have some copies of the book available?
We do. If there might be some still available, I believe there are. We have been giving out free copies of
Right.
the book.
Right. Well, as I move into my retirement, I'm gonna pick up the book and read it again.
Awesome.
So, hey, thank you for being with us. This was really a really great effort on the part of the libraries. I'm really pumped about this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Our guest today, Lucinda Colee. She's the Volusia County Library Director, and again, you can get that information through the county's website, volusia.org. Back to you, Amber.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about the show, you can feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. Incidentally, you can find the County Council's meeting calendar there too. In fact, you can use volusia.org to find out about meeting dates, workshops, topics of interest, activities, and how you can become involved. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Osman. Have a wonderful evening.